Our first commentator has been a serious student of the assassination of JFK for more than 15 years. The co-author of The Case for Zapruder Film Tampering, an article which appeared in the edited volume Assassination Science 1998, his current interests focus on the authenticity of photographs and motion pictures taken in Dealey Plaza on 22 November 1963. This fellow was the first person to identify the indications of a through-and-through bullet hole in the Alchins photograph. Please join me in welcoming Roy Schaeffer.
I'm just going to do this, then that's fine.
Just
I'm just. Okay, thank you. Okay. Yeah, good morning. Okay. What I'd like to do, by the way, I thought that was an excellent presentation, and it did represent a lot of my thoughts. I think the main thing about this is, to me, and looking at the reason I picked the presidential limousine was, in this case, you have the body. And I think just as important as the body is the presidential limousine. And one thing that occurred that bothered me is the presidential limousine was the scene of the crime. It was the, you remove the scene of the crime, you lose evidence. You alter the body, you lose evidence. Now, my interest is directed that way in the limousine. Now, but also my interest is in the alteration of the film. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say I believe beyond the shadow of a doubt that the Abraham Zapruder film was used as a master. It was altered to change the perception of what was seen. But what I will say that's important is that when the film in its current state, from 0 to 486, is in a direct point, exact point at, say, just for example, 200. That limousine is exactly on Elm Street at 200 in a specific place. Okay, also the people inside that limousine are at a specific position. So, the Zapruder film, even though I believe it's altered, and whether you don't, that's okay, but the point is it can be used for what I'm trying to present. Now, the windshield is very important. And by the way, I scoped that out, and I had noticed, I'm one of these people that really is pathetic really, but it's the Freudian. But I lasered out all the positions, and I noticed in Doug's presentation, if you noticed, what was interesting was those two lampposts were not there in Dealey Plaza that day. And the lamppost closest to, on the video, the lamppost that was closest to, up on the triple overpass, if you looked at that lamppost again, or just visualize it, what you'll see is that's the exact angle going into the windshield. In other words, from the sniper, you go through the lamppost, you got it. Because I've scoped it out, I've taken scope. The only thing I've found is a problem with a scope, unless you got a large scope, is you probably need at least 4 seconds to reposition the scope. Now, another thing that I thought was quite impressive. Now, I'm going to also just interject this at this time. I believe there was a person on the grassy knoll by Zapruder. Believe it or not, I believe that. And I believe that he fired shots. Okay. 2 that I know of. Okay, now, the other thing, if you look at the Zapruder film, and I'm going to have to come around if you don't mind on this. Can everybody hear me? I think I can see from here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use this. First of all, I'm going to go back to, in other words, I'm saying, but first let me do one thing. I want to get this cleared out of the way. Okay. I think this is important, and I just kind of want to verify. I don't know if everybody can see this. Now, on the presidential limousine, in the Algins photo, the spiral that you see has this configuration. I've actually taken a windshield similar, and this configuration is about 1.25 inches. A 6.5 millimeter is about 1/4 inch. I'm thinking that they used about a .22 rifle that has, I'm going to say a .74 Winchester, for example. Now there's other things here I think that proves that this is a through-and-through shot. Not only the photograph of that in the Algin's photo, but this. What you see here, and I didn't quite do that right, is I wanted to do a spiral, and let me just redo it so I get it right. There we go. Now, why is this important? This is important because when a bullet fired through a rifle has lands and grooves. I know that bullet going through the front windshield had what they call a right twist. And this is the right twist here. That means it went through. That means this indicates there's no doubt in my mind that bullet transited through the windshield because it has this spiral that picked up when the bullet's turning and hitting this. Okay. Now, in the regular painted glass, like in the Commission 350, you don't have that. It's cracked. It's cracked. Okay, it's completely different configuration. I think that's important. Now, by the way, this is the Algin's photo shows this. I believe this to be true. The Commission in the archives, the windshield that they have in the archives, this is their configuration. I don't believe it. I don't believe it because it isn't what's seen in the photo. This is a fabrication. Now, getting back to here. Now, I'm going to try to bring some new stuff in here. Everybody's heard, or I'm sure everybody's heard of the single bullet theory. But there's some certain things that are interesting. And by the way, on this here, this is Commission Exhibit 353. And what's significant about this is, although you can't see it in this photo, there's actually two color photos. But I use this one because right here, this is a bullet hole. And it has a blood grouping around it. Now, the other one is right here. And a better, I just don't have the slide with me, but anyway, at this point here is another bullet hole. Now, that becomes very important. Now, so let's go back to, say, between 200 and 220. And what I'm going to do is just, I'm representative. I like to do reenactment, so I want to show you exactly what I'm seeing, in the film.
Wait, did you say there was a hole in the seat?
Yes, there's two holes. There's a hole here and a hole here. And by the way, I didn't have the slide, but afterwards, this is all cut up. It's Commission Exhibit. Let me just get back to that. But at any rate, there's two holes. Now, this hole here occurred at exactly, if you examine the Zapruder film, you can first see it at 226, Z226. Now, this is important. This hole over here, you can first see it at 285, okay? Now, what caused that? Okay, so let's go back I'm saying that okay, the Algin's photo is Z225. I'm going to use numbers. I hope I don't confuse anybody. But at any rate, at 200, okay, the Stemmons road sign, in other words, the presidential limousine is going behind the Stemmons road sign. Now, as it's doing this, things are not seen, but we can see before and after. So basically, I'm just going to do my representation of Kennedy. So Kennedy's waving basically at the crowd. At 200, if you look at the Zapruder film at frame 200, there's no bullet hole yet in the presidential windshield, front windshield. Now, at frame 220, however, or thereabouts, you see the bullet hole. So we know that the bullet that hit the presidential limousine occurred between 200 and 216. That's very important. Now, so let's go back. Let's get it.
Is this supposed to be up here on this slide? That's supposed to
No, I'm just going to kind of jump here.
You only have 5 minutes.
Okay, so what I think I can do that. Okay, so what we're looking at here, and this is why it's important. On this here, by the way, this is where Conley is hit at 224. I believe that that's the case. I believe he was shot from the grassy knoll, okay, at 224, okay, and he was shot at that point. Okay. No, wait, I'm sorry, I messed up. At 224, he was shot, and he was shot at this point here. Okay, I'm just going to say that. Now, I got confused. Now, what I want you to realize here is what you can barely see. This is, in other words, this is 224. So let's just use that. So Kennedy's hands are already up, in his right hand is already raised up. He's hit in the throat. He has to cough first. So his left hand is coming up at this point so he can push over the hole to cough and breathe. He can't do it unless he does that. Now right here, this little white object, is this little white object here. Whatever it is, it was on Kennedy's leg. So when he's coughing, he's raising that leg up. That takes time. So in other words, we got 224, about 220, let's say here for the shot going through. So we got another shot, and I'm going to say it's a back shot. And the back shot, I'm saying, went through this cushion and hit him in the back. Okay, now, there's one thing that I don't think anybody else knows, but at 247, 248, okay, you can actually see blood, because when your heart's beating, you got a pulse. And after he was hit, I'm talking about Kennedy. Kennedy, the blood is actually seen in 247, 248, misting out of his back. So to me, that proves that he was shot in the back. Okay? It also proves that the throat shot's separate. And I think that's important. I'm going to leave Conley go. The only thing is, I mentioned 224 Conley's shot, but I want to go back to this here, right here. Now, Conley, according to the single bullet there or whatever, and this will probably be just about it. But anyway, it's significant what Conley's doing. Conley, in other words, I would say he was in this position here. He flips his hat up. Now what he does is Stetson hat, but then he turns around to look at the president. So he's in this position right here. And that's why I'm saying at 224, there's a grassy knoll. I'm sorry, that's why I got messed up before, and I don't mean to do that. At 285, at 284, he was shot, I would say, from the 6th floor, southwest corner, not the snipers there, the other corner. At 285, what he's doing, and this is just my opinion, check it out, but what he's doing, he's turning. And then, next to Zapruder, as a matter of fact, in frame 4, 7, 8, in the Zapruder film, you can see the sniper. Look, because where Zapruder is, you can see right into the grassy knoll area behind the fence. Now, so anyway, at 285, I'm saying that bullet hit Conley's wrist. The first 224 through his back, okay, out of his chest. And by the way, when I talked to Willard Hess, I believe the bullet ended up in front of the jump seat somewhere. Now, what I'm saying here is when Conley's hit from the grassy knoll, the shot's coming from the knoll. So basically like this. He's turned around. You can almost visualize this because Zapruder wouldn't be too far from Zapruder. So his hand's up in the air, and right there's the hole. And that first appears at 285, and there it is. Now, what's interesting, okay, let me just come over. I'm going to close on that. I thought that was important enough to bring to your attention, and I don't think that there's really anything that's more significant to say. I just think that in closing, I want to just say that I think the presidential limousine was the scene of the crime, and I think it was very important to understanding the scenario of a conspiracy in the death of President John F. Kennedy. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Roy. Our